not be politically correct to use in like the modern classroom, but you have to understand the historical setting and cultural context for it to be, you know, received academically, I suppose. But we talked a little bit about the setting of the garden party and about the roles of women in class distinctions before, and that kind of gave us a context for the story a little bit better. Similarly, we covered stereotype is a conventional, formulaic, and oversimplified conception, opinion, or image. The stop character typically reappears in a number of stories or plays, like the cook, or the lower class characters in Katherine Mansfield's you'll see come up again. You know, those kind of very simplified characters that reappear. Structure is the organization of various elements of work. A style is an author's characteristic way of writing. What are some things that we can say about Katherine Mansfield's style from reading two of her stories? She tends to use a lot of figurative language. She uses a lot of descriptions. Her protagonist is a young woman faced with some sort of life-changing, and you get kissed by a 92-year-old man. You know, some hump to get over in maturing. And symbol is a word or phrase that's used to stand for an idea. The main symbol in the garden party was Laura's what? Her hat, right? Theme is a generalized abstract paraphrase of the inferred central point. It's basically the message of the story that transcends time, culture, gender, etc. So what would be the theme of a garden party that transcends 120 years in a culture, an ocean? Exactly, the caste system or the class distinctions. And also, what's the only equalizer? Death, exactly. So those are two messages that don't get lost on any person because they're relatable to all people. And then tone is an author's attitude towards his or her subject matter. What was Katherine Mansfield's tone, her own opinions about Laura's mother, by the way she presented her? Did she think Laura's mother was a good person? No, snobby, right. You know, and then her tone towards the lower class was what?
Well, her?
The mother's, but the author's tone towards the lower class was somewhat what? Pitiful and sympathetic, right? But pitiful because you can't do anything. It's just so you know, and you know that nothing can be done. Good. Okay, any questions about those? Okay, that's what I wanted to get through today. Tomorrow we're going to do the diagnostic. You'll want to make sure that you have everything I've given you with you and have Bliss read. And there'll be 4 different options about what you can write about for the diagnostic. We'll go over to the library so you can type or handwrite based on your own preference. The topics kind of range from simple to a little bit more heavily analytical, and you can choose whichever one you want. I just want people to feel comfort analyzing at their level of sort of knowledge. Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank
If you have any questions, hang out and ask. I have stuff for you, so hang on.
It was like, is that kind of not like right now? Like the way kind of just,
Yeah.
her reaction to it at least seemed that way. But,
Yeah, well, I think it was more like shock
oh, okay.
because she like put him in the grandpa category.
Yeah.
Like not even the friend zone, but like the grandpa zone.
Yeah.
And then he made out with her.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I was asking him a question. She didn't tip the guy at the beginning.
So he took
Is
off.
it connected?
He took off the Danes only sign.
Yeah, which
Yes.
led to the old man
And
being
Being
there.
in,
He
okay.
may have like tapped the old man and been like, hey.
That's what I was
Yeah.
wondering. I was
That's what I
like, is
think
it,
too.
I was like,
And
is
then
it
she didn't
connected?
tip the bellhop at the hotel, which led to
To-
her, the woman she was waiting for being
Dismissed.
Dismissed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
And
not coming
she-
back, she's out.
And then he
entertaining
kind of
the
like stuck it to her and it just. because
I'll
of
show
what she
her.
said. Yeah, I'll show her, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was-
Okay.
Yes.
Always.
Chance was there. Well, we're gonna do that one on Thursday. Lovely packet for that. But the diagnostic options tomorrow will either be on the garden party, Bliss, or both.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye, have a good day. Wait, I have a huge packet for you. Have a good day.
Oh, picked up Josh on Friday, but not Josh, but she had this huge bite they never told us about, and apparently, like, her teacher knew it and didn't, like,
Who's your teacher?
Miss Ashley, she's like, and she's new, she's only been there for like a week. Yeah, she didn't know the protocol. I kind of freaked out, like, well, I asked my wife, like, did you know about this? And she's like, no, she didn't even see it. And it was, like, I mean,
Did you
she's
look at
got,
it?
yeah, I do. I mean, it wasn't, none of her bites has ever been that bad, but this one, oh, God.
She can't talk and she can't defend herself. Like,
Exactly.
that's when you like.
Okay. You know, just open the turtle top one, I see. It was, like, you can see all the bottom teeth, and the top one's, like, scraped.
Oh, I would freak out. It
Yeah.
gives me like anxiety to look at it.
Yeah. Like, I called Vivian, and I'm like, did this happen? She's like, I don't know. And she went back and looked at
Did the video and they figured out who did it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you kick the kids when you went in today?
No, my wife dropped Claire off today. Otherwise, I would have.
Yeah, like, oh look, I tripped and I still punched her to the face.
Whoopsies.
Have a
See you
good day.
tomorrow.
Bye, Jim.
Bye.
I don't have kids. Understand the best in you. Okay, so, alright, there's a ton, like, just FYI. I'm ready. So, because it's 3.5 weeks to start, that, like, what you guys want to do is get as much done this week as possible. As a goal. Thank you so much. Oh, no problem. I figured out until I it out. So these are the discussion questions these are pressing.
Okay, so this is just like what I get from that, from
Yes,
Carrie, from
they're just, you know,
What
there's
I-
like a little,
my analyst.
yes, they're very straightforward questions, you know, a lot of them have a range of answers just based on, you know, describe or, you know, like, these are opinions of what you think, but they need to, you know, analyze it. This is the Araby assignment. It's basically like a short essay version of the way you answer questions in class. So it's your first sort of transition from just answering questions to putting it into like more of an essay form. The one you're going to do tomorrow is just sort of indicator of what this is. This is the dollhouse.
I read that,
It's a good story.
I like that one.
And then the questions for that are attached to it.
Okay, and it's the same thing, like my opinion and like the essay?
Yes. No, there's no update with that. This is, if you send me an email, or I'll send, when I send out the email to the group, right, just send me an email back saying biography link, because this is the response to the video biography that I'm gonna show in class. This is the 2 of 19 questions.
I will be there for that, right, so, like, for the biography?
I don't think so. But let's see.
Okay, I mean, if it's
No.
on YouTube or.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
It is?
Yeah, I'll send you the link. These are the 19 questions with a little writing assignment attached to it. This is more of like a creative writing assignment than an essay. This is happy endings. The questions for happy endings are attached to that. This is the stone mattress. This is the assignment for the essay, which is on the day you come back. And then there's a sample essay attached to it.
Okay. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, you're welcome. A lot, but it's all done.
Yeah.
Working on it today.
Have a good one, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I do have a few questions for you, trying to help me get structured. So are we?
I'm telling you, 'cause I don't want you to tell me that your fly's down.
Oh, thanks, bro.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Are we ever using this?
Well, yes, because I don't.
Or am I supposed to be I don't know. What am I supposed to be doing? Am I supposed to be reading Bliss? Or
Yeah.
what's my homework? What am I supposed to do?
This. Okay, so where's your calendar?
What do you mean?
The one that I
syllabus
gave
or
you,
the-
yeah.
This is so. And then tomorrow
Yeah.
we're doing a diagnosis in the library or something.
Yes, we're gonna come here and then we'll go to the library. And then, so I don't like to ever require the book for like a week because some people like with paychecks or financial aid, it's not as quick as it should be. So like your first assignment to read in the book is a week from
next-
today.
okay.
Yeah.
And then those all those these.
Yes.
Do I have to are we gonna mix bubble up?
Yeah, it's just
like-
matching.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
you'll
I
get,
wasn't
like, a
sure if
list
I had
of
to
the terms.
memorize that or.
No, like you'll
Or like I mean, I kind of have to know it, but like you see, if I'm matching up like
you're matching.
answers,
Yes, you're not gonna.
versus
I'm not gonna give you a
having
term.
to write it down.
No. You won't have to write down the
And then,
definition. You're just matching.
like that kind of messed me up because I was confused. Like if tomorrow we were reading Bliss,
No,
or
if
I,
it says
or if this-
read, that means before class. So like this
so
Monday,
I read this. So if this is here,
that's homework.
So I was supposed to read it the day before.
Right, so you were supposed to have the Little Governess read for today. You should have Bliss read for tomorrow.
Okay.
I just mixed up the week a little bit.
Okay. Are we getting tested on this or?
The Little Governess will not be on the test because we're not discussing it. The only ones that are on the test are the ones you have handouts for, like you got today.
What I'm getting tested on is what I got today. Am I getting tested on any
You're o-
storylines or?
You're only getting tested on stories that we discuss. So like, you have the terms now and you have the garden party because you have a set of questions that we discussed in class. So anything we discuss in class will be on the test.
So I'm doing a test for sure on the garden party.
The garden
so
party
know
will be
that
on the test.
very well.
Yes.
Okay.
So you'll.
And then I need to know hyperbole, and then
The terms
Yeah,
will be 30 out of the
things I wrote
51 will
down.
be on the test. And like before the test, you'll get like an explicit like review too. Like everything we do, I explain in like excruciating detail, I promise.
because for the garden party, you were making us match up that, so we just really needed to know those 4 things for that
well, the
30 question test or whatever.
No, those 4 things we use over and over when we discuss the literature. Like over and over, like we'll talk about how, you know, in the Little Governess, like we'll talk about how there's the use. We'll look at simile, hyperbole, personification, and metaphor.
So
Like,
we are going to go over that.
well, this one, yeah,
This is
yeah,
getting discussed.
on Thursday. Yes.
Okay.
So, and we'll talk about it like we did today. We'll talk about, like, you'll have a set of questions. You'll answer the questions yourself. And then we'll go over the questions, and I'll supplement with people's information from the class or from my own.
I want to be honest about 2 things. I'll be honest, I didn't read this. I haven't read governance yet. And then with the questions, I felt like a total dum-dum because, like, I interpreted the story a little bit differently. Like, I felt like her brother may have, like, I felt like they almost had, like, a romantic, like, kind of connection. Like, he kind of understood her, like, isn't it, darling? Like,
Yes.
I kind of picked up that way instead. And, like, the father, he seemed like, yeah, he was very, like, loving or whatever, while, like, I don't know, it seemed like he was trying to make everyone understand, like, his...
Yeah, no, and see, we all bring to our interpretation of stories our background, our own emotions, like our
But
own.
you guys, like, with the class discussion, I definitely, like, I missed stuff. Like, even
That's
though I read
okay,
the story a
though, but
couple
that's-
times, like, I was just like,
You
oh,
said
I
you
didn't
took
think of
Comp
that.
2
or-
5 years ago, and if you don't frequently read or read in this method, then it's just new, and it's.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll do completely fine. Like we have 5 people in the class. Like we're here for an hour and a half. Like any questions you have, ask. Everything you turn in, you get back with feedback that you turn in again for a grade. You know what I mean? So there's no
I
like.
just want to make sure that I'm doing school right kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Well, you just
Like,
if
I
it
know
says
that I'm
read
doing.
next to a day, then read it for that day.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read
And what you
want
want to do is get a through ring binder and whole bunch of stuff.
like
and
that
keep it.
thing?
Yeah. No. And keep everything
Okay.
in like order.
I don't know how to do that. Like, I'm learning how to do that.
What?
Order.
No, this is a good place to start because I make everything like very like, I give you a ton of stuff, but everything I try to make everything like super explicit.
Yeah, but once you give it to me, like, I never know how do people have order? Like, how do you?
What you want to do is this. Okay, so you want to get a through ring binder.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything I give you, you keep chronologically arranged. Like you hole punch it, stick it in there. You know, I take the staplers.
Like all
up-
of this.
Yep, everything. You have your syllabus first, your calendar second, and then all the handouts and stories in the order that I gave them to you.
Is there like preferred like thickness? Or?
I would just get a 1-inch one. That's all you need for the
Okay.
class. You know, and then you just don't have everything like in a folder.
Yeah. I appreciate you.
And then, you know, what also I recommend doing is, okay,
I'm trying to switch. Like, this thing ended.
is take your calendar and take all of the read and due dates and put them on one calendar. That way you can have like your school stuff. I keep like, what I used to do is I would have like, I'd transfer all the dates from my calendar onto a planner. Then I'd have like my work schedule, dentist appointment, all that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like everything together.
I got 2 classes, so I'm just kind of like overwhelmed.
Right. What else do you have?
History 1 to 4.
Okay, so